foremost, we need to discuss what is a contingency. No matter how you're using it, a contingency is something that is you stating, no matter what side you're on, that you are willing to do something based off of X, Y, and Z, either happening, being taken care of, being paid for, anything like that. So if you are going to be using a contingency, you are using it as, and sometimes in a way it's leverage, other times it's to make sure that something is being taken care of for you to ensure that you are going to do your part. So one of the first contingencies that you see a lot is that a buyer is contingent on the purchase of the new home because they are contingent on selling their house. So we're going to break that down. If you are a seller and you want to then turn around and buy a house, your house has to sell for you to be able to buy the new one in most instances. Now, in some instances, that is not the case. Sometimes you can do a HELOC. You can do, you can hold two loans. Like you may have the capability to hold two loans until the other one sells. Sometimes you can do a bridge loan. Sometimes you can do a one-time recast. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but the majority of the time, to be able to purchase the next home, you have to sell your home. So your offer to the other seller, so the person, when it puts you in the buying position, your offer on that home to purchase is contingent on the sale of your own home. So this, a lot of times, is seen as very negative, and that a seller doesn't want to accept a contingent offer. Well, they're already accepting other contingencies most of the time with your financing, your appraisal, things like that. So it's just another contingency. So sometimes in a really tight market, it can be detrimental to your offer. But most of the time, especially in the market we're in right now, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I did it on my house. That was 8 months ago. It's not the end of the world most of the time. This particular contingency, the way that it works is that your agent would write you an offer that states that you want to buy this house, but it is contingent on your house closing because you need the funds from your house closing to pay for the new house. Now, when they write that up, it is a basic document contract that we already have. So there's not a lot of room for error unless they input the information incorrectly. So for the most part, it's very cut and dry. One of the best ways to have a very strong contingency is to already be ready to go. So for us, the best way I know how to explain this is to use an example. For us, when we sold our house, I had pictures done. I had the MLS ready. I had the house ready. I had everything set up. All we had to do when we found the property that we wanted to offer on, that we knew we'd be contingent on, was to say, okay, we're ready to go. Our house is going on the market the minute y'all accept this offer. We also sent all of the information to the listing agent for the house that we were buying, so she could see that our house was in a desirable area, desirable neighborhood, desirable school zone. The pictures looked fantastic. The listing was immaculate. Everything was perfect, and our house should go pretty quickly. This is just a really good safeguard. It makes them comfortable, and if you're not giving them any details, then they don't know what they're up against. So it made them very comfortable to know that, A, I know my market, so I knew what was going to happen. I gave them stats and data, and I gave them the listing ahead of time so that they could see what was going to be hitting the market. We also asked for a 45-day close. That gave us an extra 15 days, because typically you see like a 30-day close. That gave us an extra 15 days to get our house on the market and under contract. I knew that wouldn't be a problem. I was right. It happened. It was no big deal. Now, if you are not in a position that your house is you don't feel that it's going to go under contract as quickly, there's a whole nother way that we're going to go through that, and I'll explain that in a different video. But for this is for a property that you know is going to go pretty quickly. You can't always judge the market, but you usually can have a pretty good idea. So we got the offer accepted because at the end of the day, we had everything in place. There was no real reason for them to have concern. So keep following along, and we're going to go through the next instance.